Hello everyone, Don here again with the next update on my Corsair project. This week was kind of a slow going. Had a lot of trouble with the tail wheel retract system. Mind you, this tail wheel has not been retracted in years. The last time I did any gear retraction was basically the mains only, playing around with the gear door stuff. The tail wheel had been disconnected. It's electric, so I just unplugged the lead to the motor. So it hasn't been retracted in a long time. So when I finally get around to retracting it, it wouldn't go. It'd just run a little bit and stop, run, stop, and it wouldn't cycle up. It seemed to want to go down just fine, but it just did not want to go up. And then once I finally got it to start working again, I fiddled with that thing, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then I was about ready to pull the motor out, and then it really started working good again. But the problem was, the original linkage in the plans calls for simple little turnbuckles like this. Well, the problem with these is these little hooks, they just go into a little tab, like here in this thing, it just hooks into a hole, and that's it. And the problem with that is when this thing is cycling in there, pushing it open and closing the door, it would bind up real bad. And it literally bent one of these things 90 degrees because they're just hardware store, real cheap. That's all it calls for in the plans. So I dug around and I found a set of aircraft ones that I had with the original regular barrel and forks. Well, the problem was, this is a left-handed thread, this end's right-handed thread. The fork that goes on this end, screwing it all the way out so it was this length to fit, the threads were way out here and they were only holding by maybe 3 or 4 threads. So what I ended up doing to get everything to really work, if you can see, I put in, let me lay down here. I've been doing this all weekend long. But essentially, up here, find a way to get this up here. As you see, hard times here. Get this thing to hook somewhere for me. But anyway, what I got is that little turnbuckle would hook into this piece of metal right here, right where I got this little eye bolt now. See that little eye bolt in there? That's in there, and it's just snug enough so it moves. And then I went to the hardware store and found these little ball rod ends. And I was going to get a fork and put on there, but this works just fine. This ball on there actually gives a little room to move this way instead of just turning. Because when this piece rotates forward and up, and this literally has to turn 90 degrees when it's up versus down. I still need to, this is all locked in here with these nuts, as you can see, but this end here, I've got to safety wire this so it's not doing this. And then the other problem I have is, as you can see in these door pins, I need to get some real small clevis pins pass through there. I can't get a bolt through there. I just got a little screw holding each side, and on this one I just have a cotter pin holding it. But I need some real short clevis pins, and then you put a little, it's just basically a little stud with a hole drill in it for a cotter pin. So, but I got all these up and working. I just kind of, it works just fine this way, but I'll take and cycle the tail wheel. I have the motor for the hydraulic pump for the mains turned off. Wires pulled on it. See if I can get this set here somewhere. Let me zoom it in a little bit. And you can watch the action of this thing. Watch carefully. It goes fast. And of course, the tail's in the air. I can't reach anything in the cockpit. So, alright, we're going to turn the power on. Are you ready? Here we go. 3, 2, 1. It should be all the way up. Looks good. Alright, then burn back down. You'll notice when it comes down, it's a little faster than it goes up. Alright, 3, 2, 1. That's how she works. So that's basically it for that. So that's pretty much done. I'll get the couple clevis pins. As you can see, the clevis pins go in. Let me give you a little light. Basically got to go in there. I may have to pull these little brackets off, weld that hole shut in this bracket, and drill a little closer, because one of these is really close, so it's going to be hard pressed to get a pin in there. But here's the tail wheel. There's the little spring clips to help keep this centered, because if this thing tries to go up like that, that door is going to get crushed. So when you take off straight, that wheel's got to be straight for it to retract without crushing. Alright, well, I got this bolted. I'm ready to put the tail cone back on. I got all these bolts in except this last one. I got this one, middle one, this one's done. I still got these 3 to deal with. I just run out of time today. It's already 7 o'clock, 7 p.m. Eastern. And I need to get this thing filmed and loaded up, so I had to quit for the night. I got to go through and look again, check all the bolts on all this stuff, check all these push rods that go out to the struts. This one's still not hooked up, but I got to make sure this is all locked in good, everything's solid. Alright, and then I went in and I got all this stuff put back together again. I had to pick that up to get through to the wiring for the tail. I spent a long time working on that tail this week. So I finally got all this back together. Now actually I wasn't getting enough aft up stick. I had to cut the board in there, the piece of plywood. I had to take another 3/4 inch out of the bottom to get enough clearance to get my tail to come up high enough. You know? So I got that all done. I'll go ahead and turn this off. Alright, and then the other thing I got done was I did manage to go get a piece of stainless, I think, this week. And as you can see, this thing will focus. I got the lower cowling on. And let's see if we can see what I got in here. What I did is I didn't use a whole sheet across it. I just took and made, a little dark, but I just made 3-inch wide strips, and I bent a Z into it. As you can see, this one I had to serrate it in order to make it curve this way. But I did the same thing on there. You can kind of see the Z bend. And it comes up over the insulation blanket and the foil, so it's nice and sturdy, and it's all pop rooted in. Worked out really good. I was going to leave it off, but I figured, I'm going to get the damn thing on there. It's ready to go. So all I need to do is I thought I had some antifreeze, but I'm all out of antifreeze. So I need to go get a little bit to top this off, and then the cowling can go on. Eventually I'll cut the doors to get to the oil, check oil and fill, and then that. For right now, when I'm working on it, as I do some testing and running with it, I'll have to pull the cowling and look everything over as time goes on anyway. But eventually I'll cut the doors. I've got all the hardware and the hinge and everything to put 2 doors, one for checking the oil and for filling the oil, and then one over there for the water. I got all the materials, I just don't feel like cutting up the cowling right now, but the cowling's on, it's rigid, so it's ready to put the top on as soon as I top that off. And then I got a piece of steel rod here. This is actually a shaft, like a little axle shaft, so it's kind of a better grade steel, harder. And I got to cut these to 1.5 inches long. Basically, like I said, they're going to be the extensions of these pins. Now, I'm going to make the spacer 1.5 inches, and then this will stick out the same distance as that. Once I go 1.5 inches here, they'll be pressed in, so they basically bottom out and hit the other ones. And then they'll be drilled for a 3/8 bolt, through bolt. So that's where I'm at. And then I did get my little set screws this week as well, or last week. Let me give me a second here. I'll pull one of these things out real quick. Guess I should have pre-thought ahead for all this, huh? But these are the little guys I was telling you about. See that little tip on the end there? That little tipped end, that little square. That will literally go into the torque tube assembly for the landing gear. That would be, if I can get up in here, if we can see anything. Basically, that big white tube right there, with that nut sticking out, you know. So it's going to screw right into that, and there's the linkage right there, the aluminum pieces. So that's what I got to cycle the gear up. Turn that cam so the gear doors will close. Well, all I really do is I'll leave the doors loose. Run the gear up, turn the cam around where it's supposed to be, and then pull one door up, hook it up, adjust it, and then drill and pin everything and unhook it, and then drill and they're already adjusted, you just have to unhook them. They should be fine, but once it cycles, then I can hook up, I'll cycle it through, pull the door up, see that it fits, drop it. If it looks okay, hook the other one up, and then run the gear up and down and see how it functions. So the top cowl is ready to go. There's nothing left to do that other than put it in. I had to dig around to find the piano hinge wires that go into these hinges. They come in through from the back. So that's where I'm at. I got to get to work on getting the hub extension made, spacer. I dug out the spinner assembly, put it all on there, stuck it in here. I've got the original bolt lengths, and I just needed to add 1.5 inches to the bolt, so that means I need a -50. It'd be an AN6 -50 bolt. Let's see where I got some bolts here. Here they are. These are the bolts, so they got to be 1.5 inches longer. So I'm going to order those tonight. Order the 2 little clevis pins, and I don't think there's anything else. I still got to crawl in the plane to finish hooking the gas tank back up, but I'll need the tail on the ground to do that. But what I'll do is I've got 2, as you can see, 2 of these sawhorses. I'll take one sawhorse each and put it right under here on both sides. That'll drop the tail down a little bit. And I'll I've got another piece of this foam for the other horse. So I'll set the tail on there. That'll get it low enough. And then I'll bring the cherry picker around to the front and pick it up by the gearbox extension there. And then I'll be able to swing the gear. And then I got to get this canopy. I'm going to try and make another one before I install one. So the canopy, get the gear swung, get the gear doors adjusted, get a prop hub made, get that on. That shouldn't be too difficult. So that's kind of where I'm at. And then I'll have to get the wings, put them on, fit everything, adjust the push-pull tubes here for the ailerons. I already had them pre-adjusted before. The flap, that last flap connection, because there's one piece flap on the outer wing. So I get all that done, and then I still got to cut, of course, that sheet up, aluminum, to make the covers for the bottom of these. And then I got to put a little cover on that trim motor back here too, if you remember that. So that one I can probably screw it to the fiberglass, or I can, I think this is, yeah, that's all wood. It's a little wooden box basically in there. I might be able to just, PK screw that thing in right into the fiberglass. Or another option is riv nuts. I can put little riv nuts in that, drill it and put riv nuts. If you're familiar with what a riv nut is, basically it looks like a pop rivet. Yeah, they look like pop rivets, if you can see those. You put that, you drill the hole, put that in there, and you screw in this special little gizmo here. Tightens up, and then you squeeze it like a pop rivet, and these things will squeeze and buckle on the inside and locks it in there, and it gives you a threaded insert. So I've got some smaller ones in here too, different sizes. So like that. I only need 4 of them. I can probably use them right there. And that's the pulling tool, and because each one of these have a different size threaded arbor. So Harbor Freight, if you're wondering where to get them, the only problem is they don't sell replacements. You got to find them online. Replacements more. All right, well, that's going to be it, guys. Just going to keep this one short. But man, I spent 3 days on that damn gear, but it finally works, and it works well. And hopefully it'll stay working. Well, I guess I can't think of anything else that I have to mention of what I did. I did have to work on the that board there. I had, like I said, I cut it out more to get full up on the elevator, and then I had the notch clearance, so it'll clear that knob there. I screw that knob off, and it's just a bolt sticking out. I had to cut a groove slot in the side of that board to clear that, and then I also had to cut another one in there to clear this. So now the thing, I can literally just pull the cushion out of there, fold that door up, and then I can get to the electrical stuff if I ever need to work on anything. Because I do still need to wire in a power supply, power for my radio here to keep it running so it's not on battery when I'm flying. That'll be a power backup, and that'll just be wired in with the master. When the master kicks on, then this will have power, so it won't be on all the time. And then for my little GPS that I have, I'll have to do the same for that, run a power source to the GPS, plug that in. It's just a little, like 4x6. So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and call it a night, folks. It's been a busy weekend. I spent half a day yesterday working on my garage door opener on the house. That thing went out a couple months back and I haven't been able to get to it. So I got in there and got that fixed and working again. Alright folks, I'm going to cut it right there, and as always, feel free to leave any comments, questions, concerns, and I'll try to get to your questions if you have them. Otherwise, I'll be catching you guys again next week. Next week you'll probably see the cowling on. The tail wheel will definitely be done. I'll have the prop bolts, but I won't have the spacer made, and I'll see what I can get done before next weekend, folks. Alright, so this is going to be it for this week's update. Well, thanks everybody for taking time to watch my videos as always, and this will be Don out. See you next week.